As many of you who watch my videos know, we got a garden shed back in May of 22, and now as of this year, 3 years later, we're having a lot of animal problems. Rabbits get under there. I don't know what groundhogs get under there, but we're really having a digging problem. So I've got to work on solving that. What I've planned in my garden is a big rearrangement. We've got tufa pots all over the place. Got the table pulled around here. I've got lots of leaf clean out to have to do. But the main rearrangement is back here next to the shed. All of my plants I've had to pull away from the shed here on this end. You can see that short gap there under the garden shed, and that was the little gap that's behind all these tufa boxes that I had setting in there on the gravel bed. And rabbits are getting in there. You can kind of see where they've scruffled up the stone, where they crawl back in there. There's a spot down here. You can see that area. Sorry, this is some paper. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. But that spot, you can see where they've tried to crawl under. And I've got to stop that, because I think if they think this is a home and a nest, that's why I have so much of a problem with those in my garden. So, since I'm rearranging everything out here, redoing new plants into the beds, I'm going to do this too. So, those are big half cinder blocks that I use for a pedestal. And that's what this big one sits on. See that big giant one? We had to put that on a dolly because it is so heavy. But this one I've had for probably more than 10 years. I don't really remember the year I made it. I've had different plants in there, thyme, all different things. Now it's kind of, I think it's the sedum coral carpet, and again the sexangulaire, and we've got some new things to join it. But so you can see I have to weed them, and I have to redo them, and then we have to cut off a lot of the little haircut edges, but that'll just grow back in more thickly than ever. And see, it looks like some of the rabbits have been getting up in my little crevice garden. So I've got to reposition my little stone crevices and redo that. He needs a severe haircut. The back side this one was right against under that window right there. So the back side, we just pull these extras out, and those can be thrown into the garden bed because those would just root and I'll have new ones. But you can see how easy that'll be to do. It might need a touch-up paint job, but I think it's good for this year. So I'll be doing this front edge that's toward the driveway and the back edge. Now on this side, see if I can step over here. This was the old, I think it was the flower pot one. I can't even find the flower pot anymore. But anyway, on this side, you can see that was where the railroad ties that support the building are solid on this side, so they can't get in. Because we had to have a little box built, and then the guy, there's a video of where they brought the shed in and set it down on this platform that we had made. Got some of those pots. This one looks like it's broken. I guess it's shattered this winter. We'll see if it's savable. This one apparently is so packed full of goo that it won't drain. So I've got to poke its hole again. So, got a couple of pedestal feet to worry about. And then the lawn was just treated today. I've got a lot of work to do out here. but I can't do it by myself. I just have to have the help. So I pulled the trigger and called the lawn people to come and treat it. I want a lot more of this big river stone because I like it. The weeds will still go through, but I come out here usually after all this rainy time and can pull them. So that's what we're gonna do this year. And when I start arranging, I'll try and remember to bring the camera out and try to show how I'm gonna arrange things. So what we decided to do, since it was about just a 4-inch gap, we put a 2x4, 10 feet long on each end. We got several 2x4s and put them under there. Well, fooled us. They just used that soft, shaly-like rock and just crawled right under it the next morning. So I decided to put a netting under there. I've worked with hardware cloth, that metal hardware cloth, and it is just so hard to cut. It's hard for me to struggle with, and I like to do it if I can do it. So I decided on this plastic or whatever that material is, netting, like you would make tree skirts or even animal cages. And then my son said big, large rock they wouldn't be able to dig through. So it was expensive, but I got it, got 5 bags of it, and that seems to do the trick. So I've rolled out this netting fabric. It's to build rabbit cages, tree protectors, etc. And I am putting this out across the gravel. My plants can still grow through it, and I'm reaching in and trying to pull out some. But I'm going to set my pots right back up on this. That'll elevate them a little bit out of the gravel. And I do plan to scatter more gravel around them. Well, maybe you don't call it gravel. Maybe you call it stone. Because I bought something that's called rainbow beach stone or something like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And I did stretch it all the way to the edge because I don't want the rabbit to find its way up under the edge. Like, for instance, if I didn't put it all the way to the edge, it would just try to tunnel back through there and still get back under the shed. But I'm rearranging everything. Well, I think it turned out pretty good. I got the styling like I wanted. Had to do that mostly when my son was there or my daughter. I chose a juniper to put in those urns along with this lemon coral sedum. I thought they'd go well together. Those tiny little junipers were only $10 at Lowe's, I think it was. And they are very slow growers, so in several years I can just put them in one of the garden beds. But I think it's going to make a great combination. Now I think I have finally decided on a final arrangement out here. My daughter helped me to carry these into their places. So I've kind of got a cluster to each side of the main bed. And I planted up the urns with a juniper, and I'm going to add some, lemon lime, I think it's called. I'm going to add that. Now, there were a few that are going to be retransplanted, but I'm going to save that for a different video because I do have to enhance some of the things that have kind of thinned out and some of the things that are so old that there's almost nothing left in them anymore. So I'll be doing that and deciding on other arrangements out here. But I think the rock is looking real good. I really, really do. Sorry, I changed my roundabout, a bowl that was sitting there. And those are the spots you can see behind that are going to have to filled in. but I think it looks good. So I will catch you up later on my urns and my bowls as I fill them, because we've got a lot of contenders. Empties, empties, and empties. And as you see, remember my dead one? Oh, we've got a replacement. So we're going to work on that. More sedum, a whatever that is. It seems to me like it's a string of watermelon or something like that. I showed you that in an earlier thing when I purchased it, and the lady kind of mangled it for me, but it is what it is. This empty one from winter has to be replanted, and then some of these need to be replanted. So we will be working on that. But looking good. And I will see you on my next video, which may or may not be replanting some of these.